like from Blake tonight and how he was able to take advantage of tonight's opportunity?
Yeah, I mean, I like the fact he was able to do it in a game in front of other eyes and, get credit for it, if that's the right way to say it. But he's been doing that when you guys aren't here against, we got good arms, in my opinion, and trying to find a way to, obviously with late pitching changes, trying to find a way to spread the wealth and get all those pitchers involved. But sometimes they're left just competing against our guys, which I think is still good action. And he's been having success there. He hit his third homer, but he should have four. I mean, he hit one to the, if you remember, to deep right center, right up against the wall, hammered the thing. That might have been the windiest day I've ever coached at Lindsey Nelson. So I like the fact he loves it here. He's been a great teammate, even though he hasn't gotten as many carrots at the end of the road as he would like to get. And I like the fact he's being rewarded for his hard work. He's done it quietly and waiting his opportunity, but he's also been ambitious.
Seems like Bargo has been seeing the ball really well. He homered tonight, but I think he walked twice as well. What have you noticed about his approach?
Yeah, you got to have your feet under you. You got to be standing up to see it. I mean, not falling all over the place. And I'm just kind of being smart aleck because, the kid has really stayed in. He's now a young man. He's really stayed in his swing nicely the last few weeks, and not over swinging, not trying to do too much. And he's got a real pretty swing, first of all, visually, but also a functional swing. And then he's a guy that's always hit. So, like any baseball player, you never want to hear the phrase trying to do too much. But when he's staying within his swing and also going up there and being who he is, which is a hitter, good things are going to happen, and they're happening right now.
Tony, with a kid like Blake kind of having to weigh his chance like that, it's not like he's a fourth or fifth year guy, but when you see a guy who's doing the right things, who's putting good swings on the ball, is there anything else you could say other than, hey, like, keep doing it, and we'll get you in when we can?
No, I mean, I kind of, if you see a guy get sour, you kind of start to avoid him. And if you do kind of voice your opinion and say this is ridiculous, or you want unnecessary meetings or stuff like that, it kind of sets you up for now he's got to go out there and get a hit, and if he doesn't, it's kind of like, so he's kind of wrote the book almost on how to go about it. So I hope other guys, whether they're younger or older, have paid attention to that. And by no means does he have the world figured out, and he could go 4 for 4 with 4 grand slams if you put him in the lineup every day. But I think the process of it has been very well done for him. And no, it's frustrating for me. And the only thing I can do is come in here and cry to you guys about the 7-run rule. And these guys they got after it. They competed, and they wanted a full day's work, and that's kind of what we wanted. And it allowed us to, obviously wish we had one more inning so we didn't have to split an inning between guys, but we've lost over 2 games of repetitions. That's like 18 innings of pitchers. That's Nick Abraham doubling his innings instead of just coming in and getting one out for us. And it's affected the hitters as well. So that's a long answer for a short question.
Is that something you have to think about scheduling in the future? Like
trying
to get guys who are going to guarantee you?
Absolutely. And also, the other thing is baseball is a big karma sport. You call it baseball gods if you want. I realized, like I said, Georgia beat the living hell out of us last year on a Friday. So, it can happen either way. But, yeah, it's kind of gotten weird, too. I think, tonight it didn't happen until the bottom of the 8th. But now, if you keep playing a game, kids start acting. I've noticed it. If on our team and other teams start acting weird. They don't know what to do, and the fans don't know if the game's over or not. It's I don't like it. And if you get me on the right day, I'll tell you my ultimate theory that I think could put an end to it in a hurry if I said it out loud on camera. But it would hurt. We'd be taking a bullet.
What's impressed you the most about Fish's recent stretch? Had another great game today, and we've seen him, reaching for pitches sometimes, or getting too over aggressive at the plate. How do you think he's attacked, calming himself down and going on this hot stretch?
I think with 2 strikes, he's been way better, and I think he's overall the same guy he's been his whole career. And the thing about him is, he's kind of the type of, game day player. He likes the fire burning a little brighter, or a little drama to things. When that kicks up, his play kicks up. But the areas technically I think he's gotten better in, because he's walked a bunch this year. He's always had good. Is with 2 strikes, competing, and with runners in scoring position, hunting down RBIs instead of trying to hunt down a 500-foot homer, which we don't want that to go away. There's a time and a place, but He's playing team ball right now. It's fun to watch.
How would you assess Arvidsson's outing?
Yeah, I mean, you don't need to say it. Do it. We're halfway through the year, and what he said was, you know, I'm capable of doing a lot for this team, and he's kind of been right on the fringe of some things, and also we took an approach early in the year where it's like, hey, let's get him a bunch of reps out there that aren't long, but let's bring him back 2 days later and get him back out there, and basically he showed, you know, that he wants the ball, but also hopefully to himself, and maybe it's my job as a coach telling this, he showed himself in the mirror, like, that's who, if you can be that guy tonight, then you can be that guy any night. And that guy's pretty good. I don't give a dang what situation or what competition or if it's a home game or away game. We can utilize that, what he did tonight.
Was the plan originally to use him multiple innings, or just how things?
No, the plan wasn't even to use him, to be honest with you, and the game got tight, and whether he realizes it or not, I think he's a really gifted kid and one of our better arms, so I thought he was the right man in that situation, especially with some of those lefties coming up, but he's kind of equally good to righties. And then it was go 1 inning, and then, you know, that's kind of what you want to be, is don't let the coach take the ball out of your hand or make it really hard. So, and he wasn't the only one who did that, you know. Crabtree was pretty good, but Breedlove was very efficient and looked good in his innings. So all you can do is do what Grimmer does. Work hard for your opportunities, and when you get them, you go out there and play, and your actions kind of speak louder than words.
You kind of already beat me to it about Breedlove, but what can you say about his second inning today? He only needed 11 pitches.
Yeah, I looked at the pitch count thing too to kind of measure out guys, and he was one of the lowest ones. And it probably would have been lower if he would have landed his breaking ball. It kind of took 2 breaking balls, which is it's tough on a reliever. And today was kind of a non-traditional relief performance, but you want to be involved that breaking ball right away, especially if it's as good as kind of the different looks he's got. So you take away those first 2 breaking balls that took him to settle in. Somehow you pull those clips out of the video, and you could argue he was the best guy of the day for either team.
Coach, Ariel 0 for 5, kind of uncharacteristic for him. What did you see from his at-bats today that were uncharacteristic? What did you see that he can work on moving forward?
Yeah, really well-struck ball to right field. He saw a bunch of pitches. He obviously played really good defense. I mean, the one play to his right almost made a spectacular play where he was really deep in left field. So really he's like a catcher, and I know Levi definitely don't want to hear that. Peebles don't. Those guys can all hit, but if you're playing those positions, Hunter Ensley, if you make a catch crashing into the wall, Ariel plays great short. Our catcher does a great job with the pitchers, and Frank, it's a win for the Vols. And then whatever you add on top of that is a bonus. So he'll be fine. He needs to stack reps, and yeah, uncharacteristic that he didn't necessarily contribute on the stat sheet, but there were some ABs in there where he was seeing the ball well, and obviously the one to right field was something to get excited about, because he does need to use the whole field.
Back on the road this weekend, how did you like the way your team handled last weekend, just in front of the fans and all that? And then
Yeah.
Second note, it's day-to-day, but how's Gavin today?
Yeah, Gavin is better, making progress for sure, and he's been able to swing a little bit. We'll probably go slower than he wants on that, but you know, we'll see. There's a good chance he could at least do something this weekend. And then last week was good for the guys just to be in an environment, because it's rowdy everywhere you go, and somehow Reese Chapman made friends with those guys out in right field. I don't think they didn't like me, I know that, based off the chant they had going on, but you kind of learn to love it a little bit. But you got to get used to it regardless of what's going on, because every place has got a little different style, and this is one of the biggest parks. This was, I think, I went in the SEC at the time, the first huge park in the country. Wichita State was one of those, but South Carolina's is bigger and like a minor league stadium. So it's a fun park to go to, but obviously winning's the most fun, and it's a very difficult place to play. You know, and Coach Maneri's back in the league, and yet they've got some returning coaches that know the program really well over there. So there'll be some stuff for us to figure out and prepare for the next couple days, and then you know, it won't be our first road trip, so you'd like to think the guys will, regardless of what the stat sheets say, start to get a little more familiar with what it takes to have success on the road.